Bullying is a serious problem, both in the physical world and online. Let's start with some stats. 15% of students don't show up to school because they're afraid of being bullied. 71% of students report that bullying is an ongoing problem in their schools. About 56% of all American students have witnessed bullying going on in their schools. 30% of teens have been involved in bullying, over 14% have contemplated suicide, and about 2.7 million students are bullied each year. Bullying isn't just the stereotypical jock beating up the nerd to steal his lunch. There are other forms that are just as emotionally and physically damaging. Bullying, by definition, is an act of unwanted behavior that hurts another person emotionally, physically, or socially. There is also generally an imbalance of power, and the kids being bullied have difficulty stopping that behavior toward them. Verbal bullying involves teasing, name-calling, inappropriate sexual comments, taunting, and threats. Social bullying is purposely excluding someone, telling others not to be friends with someone, gossip, rumors, and embarrassing them in public. And then physical bullying is hitting, kicking, pinching, spitting, tripping, pushing, taking and breaking their things, and mean and rude gestures. Bullying is an intentional thing, although people do sometimes say hurtful things and do hurtful things without meaning to. Bullying can happen once or a million times. People generally say that bullying is a repeated thing, but it can also be a one-time thing. If another student's behavior is hurtful, either emotionally or physically, then it is considered bullying. Being bullied impacts a student's education, health, and well-being. Grades drop, they can't concentrate, they have a lack of academic interest, and they avoid school. Like, remember that statistic from earlier? Like 15%? That's a lot of kids. They have problems sleeping, they get headaches and stomach aches, they have low self-esteem, they have increased amounts of fear and anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress. They might isolate themselves, they might become overly aggressive, they might feel alienated, they might self-harm, and they might retaliate. In extreme cases, school shootings and suicide happen. In a bullying situation, there are many roles that people can play. Throughout different situations, people can switch roles. They're not always stuck in one slot. Because of this, it's really important not to label kids the bully and the victim, but more as the kid who bullied so-and-so, or the kid who was bullied by so-and-so. This doesn't lock them into that state of I am forever the victim and I am forever the bully. Along with the kid who bullies and the kid who was bullied, in a bullying situation, there's also the kids who assist, the kids who reinforce the behavior of the kid who bullies, the outsiders, and the kids who defend the kid who's being bullied. Everyone in the situation is affected by the bullying. As kids who are bullied get older, they're more prone to depression, anxiety, and health complications. As they get older, kids who bully are more prone to abusing alcohol and drugs, fighting and vandalizing, criminal convictions, and being abusive to their romantic partner and/or spouse and/or children. Psychologically, bullying messes with people. It screws everybody up. Everyone who sees it, everyone who experiences it, everyone who does the bullying, everyone who receives the bullying. It just screws everything up. It's a really awful thing. I hate it. Cyberbullying is like bullying on steroids because it happens 24/7 and can be really, really difficult to get away from. The person being bullied is generally bullied both online and in person, so it's like 24/7 being attacked. Cyberbullying includes sending mean and vulgar texts and pictures, sharing private information about somebody else online, purposely trying to embarrass them and make them look bad and just kind of destroy their lives. Bullying sucks, but being aware of the problem helps to fight it. 55% of the time, bullying will stop if a fellow classmate intervenes and stands up for the kid being bullied. Online, privacy settings are your friend. Think before you post and keep private information private. At the moment, less than half of the kids who are bullied go to adults for help. They're afraid that they'll appear weak and that the kid who is bullying them will retaliate against them and become worse. They're afraid that their friends might abandon them. They're afraid the adults might judge them. And this is all terrible. It's a very terrible thing to think. Like, as a community, we need to make it okay and keep the lines of communication open. We have to all become aware of bullying and what it is so that we can talk about it and we can fight it as a community together and just get rid of it because it's awful. Kids have to know that it's okay to talk about being bullied with trusted adults and to get help. They have to know that they won't get in trouble and they won't be judged and that they won't have their electronics taken away in cases of cyberbullying. Parents need to educate their kids about what bullying is and how they can spot it and how they can stop it, how they can stand up for the other kid and how they can stand up for themselves if it's happening to them. And adults should be role models. Like, be kind to one another because kids look up to adults. And they look up to the older people, so if you're being kind to each other, it'll be like, hey, it's cool to be kind. Cool to be kind, man, let's do it. Since 2006, Pacer.org has been holding a big anti-bullying campaign that takes place in October, and their motto for this year is "The end of bullying begins with me," and I think that's awesome. In the description below, there are links to learn more about bullying and prevention. I'm also putting a link to the No Place for Hate / anti-bullying video that I helped my high school make last year. There are facts in this video, but there are also a bunch of true stories that the Key Club collected. All these stories are acted out by the film students from my high school. And then at the end, there's this really cool poem also that is it's a very moving video. So I suggest you check it out. That is it for this week, guys. I will see you next week with a few more awareness videos. Goodbye.